Hello, this is wmpyr. Okay, so today we live in the age of information, and around 2005, 2006, around that time, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Jim Wagner was very popular. He was on Black Belt magazine writing articles and stuff, and his whole big thing, what he was preaching was reality-based martial arts, RBMA. And if I'm not mistaken, also around the same time, Tony Blauer was also featured in Black Belt magazine. And I had seen him years before, but it was almost like his return. And by this time, he had perfected his ideas, in my opinion, perfected in a way that it was made into this very nice package that he was teaching police officers all over the U.S. It was a program, this complete, program. And if you have seen the videos on YouTube, you can see just how seasoned he is at teaching and presenting this program. You could tell he's done it hundreds of times, many, many, many times. That it's very well put together. So both of these guys, one of their main things was that in a real life situation, no matter what style that you've trained in, no matter how long that you've trained in, there's always the risk of you freezing up and not being able to get to your skill set in time. So, of course, that was a very, very big concern for me, as someone that's training martial arts. And these people are saying, no matter who you are, and no matter how much time that you put in, it can happen to you. It can happen to anybody. So if you're a smart person, whether you agree with their methods or not, you're going to pay attention. And like I said, it is the information age. They were talking about it, and I paid attention. And I didn't just want to copy what they did or necessarily go become their student. When I saw Tony Blauer's spear and where he's talking about the flinch response and stuff like that, I kind of noticed similarities in other traditional or very famous martial arts that they already kind of do that, or the good practitioners do it, that it's already in the art and they access it properly. And the practitioners that are not so good, they don't do it. So this, I noticed in particular, it was Aikido and also Muay Thai kickboxing and some other styles like Wing Chun, and there were a couple of others that I don't remember. But in those three, I really noticed that the flinch response type techniques were actually in there. And it's just a matter of interpretation and how you practice it and whatnot. So that's when I decided it's probably in what I've already practiced. I just need to be able to access that. Okay, so number one was listening to what these world famous martial arts instructor had talked about. And then the next thing is I had to assess myself. And I remember one time when I was living in Austin, it actually snowed, and it's rare. In Texas, it doesn't snow often in Austin. And this one time it snowed, and I had to go out to walk my dog, and I knew the area that I lived in, the apartments, it was kind of like there were lots of small hills all over. So I took my dog out for a walk because he had to go to the bathroom and stuff, and he had been cramped up inside the home. So I knew there was a risk of me slipping and falling, and also because I'm not used to it. And but I went out anyway, and I thought this is an excellent way for me to test myself, to see if my skills will come out when I trip and fall. Um, so I walked around and I told myself I want the muscle memory to kick in. So I'm just gonna walk around with my dog like it's not even snowing, completely carefree, completely that I forgot, and let muscle memory do all the work. And sure enough, I fell, landed right on my back, and I was like, man, I'm not necessarily a judo guy or anything, but I've done martial arts for many years at this point, many, many, many years. I don't remember exactly, but I think it could have been about a decade at that point. And I've done break falls and stuff like that, so it did not come out. It failed, right? And so then I wonder to myself, is that because of me? Is that because I'm just not good enough? My muscle memory uh, wasn't there. I didn't have enough of it. My training was bad because I'm a poor student. What's the problem here? And you know, like I said, I think at that time it was the point where it was a decade or more of training. I was like, how much do you need? Do you need 20 years, 30 years, 40 years? That's ridiculous. That's then that is a bad program, you know. So the next time I went out walking with my dog in the snow, what I did was I was ready to fall. Okay, I told myself I'm gonna fall, and I need to get ready for it. So then when it did happen, I was all right. I was prepared, and I was able to break the fall. I was cool. So that was a big assessment test and a big how do you call it? I got hit in the head with reality there. Okay, so the lesson there that I learned was no matter how much training you have, you don't leave it all to muscle memory. That's a big chance because there could be so many things going on with you emotionally, um, things that you're noticing, thinking, distractions, all kinds of things happening that you cannot leave it up to muscle memory because you never know what's in control of your brain and your body at the moment. Yeah, it could still be there, the muscle memory, it's there, but it doesn't mean that it's going to immediately come out spontaneous. For that to happen, you have to be in that mode. So the best way to bypass all that, in my opinion, that I've discovered was to already be thinking about it and already ready to access it. That's the only way. So if you are not thinking about it and you're just waiting, so maybe this guy's very aggressive and your brain knows that this could turn into a hostile situation, but if you're just engaged in talking back and forth, no matter how much muscle memory, how much training you got, maybe the conversation is so distracting that when he slugs you, you might even see it, but your body doesn't respond. So that's when I started to realize that yes, I need to have a system to bridge the gap, just like they were saying, to enable me to get to my skills ASAP. And one of the things that by this time I was already very, very comfortable with solo training. Solo training had become my friend. And that was one of the things that I was really, really good at because I moved around a lot, all over Texas. I constantly moved. And when I constantly moved, it was difficult to find the martial arts school that I wanted to train in. And I realized that a lot of times you're not going to be able to find the style that you want. And even if you do, the school might be, all the way across to the other side of town. And I had to drive, 4 hours of traffic uh, every day. And it just wasn't feasible or whatever at the time where I was a college student and I had too much work there and, whatnot. So it wasn't always a school available. So I had to make solo training my friend. I had to become really, really good with it. If not, I would fall way, way, way behind compared to someone who goes to a school all the time, has access to a school. So I didn't want that to happen. So the only answer to that was to solo train. So imagine, someone um, that goes to school. You both go to school, and I'm talking about academia. So you go to your high school with this other person, and the person that does homework, and the person that also does preview work and all this extra work at home is going to become ahead, because in the classroom you're both getting the same stuff. Now, how well of a student you are will determine how much more you could get out of it, but you're still getting the same stuff. But once you come home, what do you do then? Are you playing video games? Are you watching movies? Or are you doing schoolwork? So the person that's doing schoolwork is going to become ahead. It's just that plain and simple. So that is the idea that I got from learning that. That's the biggest lesson I learned in high school. So I was like, I need to solo train for martial arts. It's no different than school. So understanding these things, then I knew that I needed to program myself with not just muscle memory, but a good program to where in a real life situation, this stuff is actually going to come out. And the best way that I thought was, yeah, it's one thing to do it at home, but it's even better if I do it out there in the public where it can actually happen. So every time I go out, I started practicing out there in the mall, at the grocery store, and now the amount of training that I'm getting is it's way more. It's not just when I'm at home by myself. Now when I'm out there, at the grocery store, at the mall, at these places, man, I'm getting practice. So, and now I'm also getting all these training partners too. You always hear that you want to have as many different training partners as possible because everyone reacts a little bit differently, moves a little bit differently. You want to work with all these kinds of different individuals, not with the same group all the time because you're going to get used to them. Well, I was out in public. That meant I had, hundreds of people to be my training partners. They had no idea that they were my training partners, but I was using them as training partners. So all these people just walking around doing their stuff. When they walk by me, there's a certain timing, the angle. Maybe there's two people pass by, and at that time, man, that's when it gets hectic. Maybe there's more. The social distancing, everybody has a different idea. Some cultures are totally different with that. So I was getting that kind of crazy practice out there every time I go out. So because I'm doing it every time, the muscle memory is now crazy amount. The practice that I'm getting is crazy. So what exactly am I doing? Well, what I'm doing is in my mind, the lesson that I learned when I was in Austin on that snowy day is to be ready and to immediately get ready to do it. Physically, I'm thinking about it and I'm already ready to react. Okay, so this is the Heaven 6 stance right here. You could call it a close position or you could call it the over and under position, but this is the Heaven 6 starting point right here. So I'm already thinking of doing that. The shoulder comes up, you tuck the chin away, the defensive hand coming up, elbow is a spike, ready to spike them, and then this is a shield. This is a shield. The blades are shields. This kind of thing is already ready to pop up. And of course, because I'm in public, I have to do mini versions of it, but it's in my brain. And I'm even making small physical movements. So it could just be with the fingertips. And this was kind of like if you've seen Big Trouble in Little China, when they were fighting, the two wizards were fighting. Lo Pan was doing like a video game type action with his fingers, and I thought that was hilarious. But that's kind of the idea where I'm making little Heaven 6 type motions with my fingers right here, and doing that, and then you can see it kind of comes out to the rest of my body, but not to the point where I'm going to freak people out in public and cause problems. So someone comes up, well, excuse me, and then this kind of small motion already puts me in position, and mentally I'm thinking about it. So I'm getting that muscle memory, I'm getting practice, and not just that, in real life, I'm getting ready. So let's think about this. I'm getting an enormous amount of practice every time I go out. And then I realized it's not just when I go out, I could do this at home with stationary objects. When I pass by the corner of the table, I treat the corner as a weapon coming at me, and I pass by using my footwork, body angling, and the technique. So it's the body mechanics is still true there. And then this could be the fridge, this could be the bed, this could be a stool, it could be a table, a chair, it could be the ledge of a door. So every time I'm passing by those things, I'm getting practice. I'm getting practice ready to do the technique. And then from there, do a quick follow up, because I don't want to just do the technique and then freeze after that. So do the technique, follow up, get away, whatever, keep walking, and you're getting an enormous, enormous amount of repetition. And that's the only way to get good. The next thing is, because I'm aware, ready to go, and making small motions, that makes me that much less likely to freeze up. And because I already know what I want to do, I'm ready to do it, and I'm thinking about it, I have a much better chance to do that. So, and then and that is the point. When I go out there, it's called the red alert system, because I'm constantly on red alert mode. Okay, so as when I'm getting practice, I'm also, the security is on. So that means my security system is on, and I'm ready if it does happen for real. Now, when I am practicing, I have to imagine that this person is a bad person, this person is bad, and as they walk by me, I'm getting that practice. But if there really is someone that's kind of suspicious, then that's exactly what this is for. So I'm just doing the exact same thing, going, okay, that person's suspicious. As I walk by that person, you know, my timing, I need to get ready. Now, at that point, I already have the awareness, so I could choose to go, well, is there a better route? Can I go in a completely different angle? Can I, completely avoid this guy where we have ample distance? Where is the nearest exit? Where are the danger zones where I could get trapped, pushed up against? Um, Also, are there any weapons around that he might use against me, or that I could use against him? So I could already start looking for that kind of stuff. And so the red alert system was so, so important. It's something that, of course, I use to this day. And yeah, it doesn't take a whole lot to shift gears and just put that into your brain, and to do it constantly, all the time. You want your martial arts to be part of your life. You want it to be a lifestyle. And this is one of the things. The red alert system is 100% one of the things that will make um, martial arts part of your lifestyle. So, anyway, that's it for now. Thank you for viewing, and take care, folks.